Happy Thursday, everybody. This is Watching Weird, where we discuss the latest movies from the eyes and perspective of writers with a genuine love of film. Good, bad, and WTF. On this episode, we're going to be discussing An Unforgettable Tale of Courage by the author of A Higher Call. But before we get started, let me introduce two of the three amigos of horror, Mr. Big Mike Alan Gamboa and the Silver
Evening.
Fox himself, Mr. Rich Restucci. And I'm Hadley Thorne. And what you guys been up to?
Oh, about 5'9". That never gets old.
The dad joke. Oh, the dad joke.
You know me.
What have you been doing, Alan Gamboa? Oh, we lost him. It's time to make fun of Alan. Quick as you can. Nope, we can't hear you. You're frozen. Hey, Tony. Hi, Whitney.
I'm here. You got me?
Kind
Am I
of.
frozen now or no?
He's just messing with you.
Let me change computers.
All right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Come on back.
I'm back.
So I guess we should talk about something
I'm
else
back.
till we get him back, right?
Well, he says he's back.
Oh, he's back. Okay, I thought he was getting another
I
computer.
didn't think he went.
I'm going to get another computer. You two carry on. This one's
Okay.
not any good
Do it.
anymore.
Hey, Mike Lewis.
All right, Rich, what have you been watching this week?
All right. So at your suggestion, I tried The Last Kingdom. I've only I've only watched the first episode. Excuse me, but it's great. Hi, Landa.
Hey, Linda. Hey,
Really
Mike.
good.
Whitney. Hey, Tony.
It's pre-England, sort of, and Vikings are a big deal over there, and they've kind of moved in and they've settled, and it's about kind of a war of attrition over 10, 20 years. And I've only seen, like I said, I've only seen the first episode, but a lot of the main characters that I didn't think were going to die are already dead. So it's pretty good. I've been watching The Last of Us, but I think we're gonna talk about that at the end of this.
Yeah, we will. Hey, Steven. Hey, Ash. Hey, Alan.
Wow, man, place is hopping, my fellas.
Hop in.
And I started watching years ago. I started watching The Orville, which is it's like a Star Trek ripoff with Seth MacFarlane, and it's mostly funny. I'm the first season, the first few episodes were great, and now I'm kind of stretching myself in the second season to find the humor. So it's okay. I'll probably stick with it. I think it did 3 seasons. But what about you? What are you watching right now?
Well, I did the Wild Women of Weird episode on the West Memphis 3 and kind of got immersed in that. So since then, I've kind of been taking just a break. I'm looking for something kind of light because that was some pretty heavy stuff.
Yeah, it was just vicious. Yeah, I mean, you can try The Orville. That's pretty light, but if you like the sci-fi stuff, the first season's good. It's funny. The second season, like I said, I'm stretching to find the comedy. There has been a few funny things. There have been a few funny things, but yeah.
Oh, Mike Lewis is asking where Scott is, and Scott is got some family stuff going on, so he will not be joining us tonight. And Alan is changing computers, so he'll be right back. So we're just going to chit chat until then. Y'all have any questions or want to share what you're watching? That would be great. Like I said, I'm looking for something kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, please do. And we can talk about Alan while he's not here. Of course,
Yeah.
we can always do that. Yeah, but nobody's ponying up anything. Whitney's here, though. She could talk about Alan. Well, you must have a story. Nothing? Well, the whole family's having technical difficulties, Ash says.
Yeah, we're in that shadow phase of the Mercury retrograde, about to come out of it, and it is just worse than the actual retrograde was, which is saying a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that National Treasure series on Disney Plus is what Mike Lewis is recommending. What do you think about it?
I've watched the first 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes. They're already through the governor's mansion. what's her name? Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it. It's pretty good. One of the actors from the first National Treasure is in it, and Sadesky. He was in it for a little while, but he has since passed away. It's okay. It's not bad. It's more or less exactly what I thought it was. Can't really tell who the bad guy is yet. I thought it was Catherine Zeta-Jones. Now I'm not so sure, but we're gonna have to wait and see.
Well, I will say I have been watching the second season of The Mayor of Kingstown, and it is super good. I'm enjoying that. It's by the same gentleman who wrote Yellowstone. He wrote obviously all the Yellowstone stuff, but
Sheridan, right? Taylor Sheridan.
yeah, and Tulsa King, which if you haven't seen Tulsa King, I give that a 5-star.
Yeah, that's great. That's one of Sylvester Stallone's best roles. He's a gangster. He's a New York gangster. What's that?
Have you not seen it, Alan?
You haven't seen it, Alan?
I haven't seen
Tulsa
it.
King?
No.
Oh my God!
I haven't seen it. No.
It's like a Sopranos that doesn't suck.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it's better than Yellowstone.
Really?
I know, and I dare anyone to. I'll argue it. I'll argue it because it's got humor, but it's just as good. The characters are just as strong, but the acting is it's on par with everything. But it has the right amount of humor, and that
Really?
pushes it on top of Yellowstone. Because Yellowstone is many things, but funny is it is not.
Oh.
He's a New York gangster that gets sort of banished to Tulsa, to Oklahoma, to like start earning for the family, and he starts killing it right away. And there's ups and downs, and it's a great first season.
Oh, I haven't seen it, because my other half is not a Stallone fan.
Yeah,
I'm not either. Tell her to give it a try, and I think she'll be surprised.
And she's not a big mob movie person.
It's not like that, though. It's not like that at all. Trust me. Tell Tina to please just give the first one just a chance.
Okay.
Because I don't like anything with him in it. Rich and I argued about one night. He was saying he was a great actor, and I was like, "What about Rhinestone?"
Oh my! I was watching. We had Rocky on at work, and this kid I work with loves Rocky movies. Was it Rocky 4? Is that where Mickey dies, or Rocky 2?
Rocky
his trainer, Rocky's trainer.
I think it's Rocky 2.
No,
Meredith Burgess Meredith, whatever his name is, that dies.
It's Rocky 3 because he's.
So is it Rocky 2? Is it okay? And he's like, watch him cry. Okay, we were watching that, and we had that on, and he's like, watch him cry. Oh my gosh, he's so good at crying. And I watched it, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. But you got to give it to Stallone. He was smart enough not to take just a paycheck out of that. He took a percentage out of Rocky, and it won an Academy Award. He wrote some of the screenplay, right, or most of it was his story, right?
He wrote all of it.
Yeah. So he's smart that way.
I'm not saying he's not smart. He's just not one of my favorite actors. I mean, I'm just not a big fan.
I love
this show made me a fan. I'm telling you, it's the best thing that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
he's no snatch.
He's actually right there. He's pretty close. You should. This is definitely something you need to put on the list. And honestly, Tina's gonna love it too. She will.
Okay, I will tell her. I will tell her.
Stallone's in it, and he's the main character, but the show's just great. There's a lot of
now. If it was Scott recommending it, I'd have a hard time selling it to her. But with you two, I'll be able to sell it to her.
Hey, Max, welcome.
Maxie.
Better late than never. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started and discuss devotion.
Okay. All right. Who wants to be the one to do the honors?
Intro. Go ahead. You can have the intro.
I'll do the intro.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're on the sheet.
I saw the previews for this movie a while back, and I thought, man, it looks pretty good. the effects and everything looked kind of good, and the actors in it, were okay. I'll see aviators, not aviators, during the Korea War, and one is black and one is white, and it's their friendship throughout throughout a couple of actions during the Korean War that this story is about. It's a true story, and Tina and I were actually looking it up a while back after we were watching it, and most of what happened in this story happened. About 85% of the story is true. And it's the sacrifices that these guys make for each other that makes the movie. There's a race, a whole lot. Race part drives.
We're losing you, buddy.
The main character, Jonathan Majors. Did you lose me again?
Oh yeah, you're fading in and out. It's got to be your connection. I can see you right now. But, oh no, you're frozen again.
Did you lose me?
Kinda.
Am I there?
Yeah, you might need to go to the phone, pal.
Oh.
So
all right,
I'll take it over.
Carry on. I'm gonna go to the phone.
So this film is just like he said, just like Alan said. It's about several aviators, but two of them become very good friends. One's white, one's black, and it's right before. It's sort of the long transition between World War II and Korea, and a lot of the guys that had flown before in World War II they're kind of retired now, but there's a couple of guys that were young then, and they're trying to teach the new guys how to fly. And there's some exemplary, excellent pilots, that are there. And it's about a lot of racism was abound in the military back then because they didn't respect the black man being a pilot. They didn't want him to be a pilot. A lot of the higher echelon didn't want the black man to be a pilot. So the black pilot is trying to tell the white pilot, who simply can't understand what's going on, what's going on with his life. And, anything that happens to the black pilot is way worse for him in the military than the white pilot. And then it starts going into action and what happens in the film. Hey, there he is. He's back. So I'm caught up. We're at the Korean War. You can take it back. Go ahead.
So there's a mission to blow up a bridge, and Jonathan Majors, he disobeys an order from his buddy Glenn Powell, who's the commander of this mission, and he blows up the bridge, and then he gets written up for it. I think Glenn Powell was intentionally trying to do it, but not really, but kind of hamstrings him, and so they're at odds over that, and that gets resolved. And then they've got to fly another mission, and this is the whole crux of the story, is what happens on this mission. And to me, I got a little bit of a tear when they had to go back.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give too much away, just because this is a newer movie. I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but that is it in a nutshell.
I'm going to give it away. This is a true story. It's a matter of historical fact.
It is true. It is. But I don't know if any, people that, if they know the story, I'll give it up if you want. If you are okay, I don't.
Well, let's leave some mystery there. But one of the important things I think that both of y'all forgot to mention is that Jesse Brown was the first black pilot in the service to get his wings. So that was a huge thing. He was the first, and everybody was looking to him. So he had a lot of pressure on him, number one. But for the time and everything, and also let me mention he was from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So shout out. But it's a phenomenal story of what he was able to overcome. And I think there's a lot of misperception over the naming of the movie. because it was called devotion, which it's not so much about the devotion between the two friends as much as it is about his devotion to his calling, which was to be a pilot, and what all he overcame to do it to serve his country.
Right.
And what all he gave up, which I loved how he was portrayed in it, that he didn't really want to be treated as the first black pilot. He wanted to be treated just like every other pilot. But at the same time, he was the first. And so you would have these African American sailors on the Navy ship coming out to watch him because they were, people didn't believe in him. There is a lot about this movie that was heartbreaking, and it at the same time it restored your faith in people. It's a beautiful friendship that they had. I'll shut up. Sorry.
So
I cried. I'll admit. I cried. I thought it was a really good movie.
he was the first black American pilot that flew American planes for the U.S. military. However, there was an American, I believe his name is Eugene Bullard or Dullard, something like that, and he flew for the Lafayette Escadrille in World War One.
Oh.
And and he was an American. I believe he was a boxer, and he couldn't do well over here, so he went to France and he started boxing. World War II broke out, and World War One, I'm sorry, and he became a pilot. He was for the French military, but there was a squadron of American pilots that flew for the French military. They were in the Lafayette Escadrille, and he was actually the first black pilot in flying, not necessarily for Americans, but flying. And apparently he was very good. He did not get shot down. He was one of the few in the Lafayette Escadrille that did not get shot down.
And they let
him mail carrier.
They wouldn't let him fly over here when he came back, right? They wouldn't let him fly.
So I think they did. I think they did let him fly, and he either flew for the circus or he flew as a mail carrier, because he had to fight for it, though. They weren't going to let him, and I guess the French commanders came over and they said, he's one of the best pilots we had, so you do you. And so they ended up letting him fly. At least I think so. That's something I'll have to look, but it was Eugene Bullard, I think his name was.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. I think I saw a movie with that in it.
There you go.
Flyboys.
Bada bing. Amazing what you can learn from movies. Also a true story, part of it.
Even if James Franco's in it, yes.
That's right.
I do not have
85% of this one was
you guys have. I don't mind James Franco.
Yeah, I think 85% of this movie was historically accurate. I know that they did not shoot down a plane like it showed, which, sorry, spoiler people, but that did not happen. That was movie magic.
Oh,
I did see an interview with that actor that was in Top Gun, that little guy. What's his name?
And Midway. He's been typecast.
Yeah. Well, he made both at the same time. He had to get permission from the Top Gun people to do it. But the interview I saw him on was really interesting because he was saying that they scoured the world looking for these old planes, because one thing they learned from making Top Gun was that you could tell what was a CGI plane and what wasn't.
Oh, yeah.
And so they were trying to hold the bar to Top Gun by using real planes.
Yeah. I mean, the aerial scenes are really good in it. I think they're pretty good. But it's a good movie. It's an uplifting movie for the most part. I like that part with Elizabeth Taylor. That was cool, and that was true. That really happened.
It was well done.
Yeah, and that really was a true story.
She was a class act,
She was.
Yeah.
Well, who's got the statistics? I know one of y'all is going to have them.
But two computers, unfortunately.
I have excuse
over here.
You have to what?
I said I have two computers, and I don't have Adobe on the new computer yet, so it's pulled up over here. Names of the lead actors: Jonathan Majors, Glenn Powell, Christina Jackson, and Thomas Sadowski. The box office info. It was released 11/23/22, so it's new. The budget was $90,000. Can that be right? That can't be right. $90,000. And the opening weekend, it made $5,902,000 with a gross of $20,364,000, and a worldwide gross of $21 million. And we've already done the what it was, the plot. But I thought, why don't I go last on this one, and you guys say what you liked? Did you like it, Hadley?
I like movies like this. I like movies about real people. I feel like we don't see enough. There's so many heroes in history. We just don't really get to hear their stories. And there's so many interesting people that we just, get overlooked. And so I really enjoyed seeing this kind of movie made. And I love, obviously, history. Y'all know I've got my bachelor's degree in history. And this is an area of history that I don't know much about, the Cold War. And so when you're getting into that, like I said, I've got an interest in it. It was something new. I enjoyed it. There were some holes in it. There was some stuff I didn't necessarily. They had so many good actors that I would have liked to have seen develop more. But for the most part, I really thought it was a good movie. I mean, I'd give it a solid probably 4 overall. But are we going to break it down into different areas?
We could, yeah, we could. What do you think overall, Big Mike?
I enjoyed the movie. I don't know if I'd watch it again, just because I know what happens. And I mean, some of the flight scenes are really cool. I really liked the part where the guy's trying to land on the carrier and he was out testing the gyroscope. And that was telegraphed. You knew what was going to happen there, because everybody else is doing, scut work and he's out doing that. I would give it, like Hadley, I'd give it a 4. I really enjoyed it, and it's like I said, it's an uplifting movie. I thought the acting was good in it. Their commanding officer, he's a comedic actor. He used to be in that series, Pieces of Life, Life in Peace,
Newsroom.
Life in Peace.
Life in
He
Peace.
was in Newsroom too.
Newsroom.
What?
Newsroom.
Oh, Newsroom. Okay, and he was in John Wick. He's the cop that always comes to his house.
Yeah.
Hey, are you working, John?
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent, but so like Hadley said, I'd like to see more of those actors in this. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good war movie and a good movie about. Well, the friendship was kind of. Jonathan Majors was so wrapped up in the race thing that at times it kind of made him unlikable.
Yeah.
To Glenn Powell, I'm thinking, why are you really trying so hard to be this guy's friend? And he keeps pushing you away.
Yeah.
I'm not like that. I won't. If someone keeps pushing me away, I'm like, okay, you don't like me or whatever, So that part I didn't like because it didn't work for me. But I know it's a true story. I know they were friends, and their families to this day are still friends.
Yeah.
But I'd give it a 4. I did enjoy it for what it was, and I like the period piece. And like Hadley said, you don't see enough Korean War movies. And
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, so let's go, Big Daddy.
So this was a movie that had the potential to be an excellent film. There were a lot of great scenes in this movie, and usually, I mean, it's not going to make any sense when I say the pace of the movie wrecked it for me. It was just boring as hell. There were several good scenes. The scene with Elizabeth Taylor, and that whole dynamic was excellent. The way they did that was great. The battle scenes, there's a scene where they have to go and they have to blow up the bridge. And on the other side, you got Korea on this side of the river, and you've got, China on the other side of the river, China on the other side of the river, firing anti-air at the planes as they're trying to blow up the bridge. That's a pretty good scene. Could have been a little better, I think, but they kind of they left me hanging on that one. And that was where Jesse defied the order. But the rest of the movie, I was just sitting there kind of like this going, all right, this is just, it is what it is. It's great. I love Korean War movies. They're all fantastic. And this one was just, the pace of it ruined it for me. It was just really slow. That scene that you were just talking about, Alan, the telegraph scene where there's a pilot and he goes out to test a new gyroscope in one of the Corsairs. They've got Corsair planes from World War II. Great plane, by the way. Not the best carrier plane, but a fantastic fighter plane. South Pacific, usually. But the way that was played out, where he's coming in and something happens, he's trying to land on the carrier, and something happens with the gyroscope, and his plane is just not where it's supposed to be. He ends up crashing, and he dies. And everybody on the plane's like, "Oh, well, he crashed. He's dead." And it was like, "Holy crap, the guy's gonna die!" And I was looking at it, and nobody seemed to give a shit. And it was just, it just didn't work for me. I would give this one probably a 2.75.
Oh,
Just didn't work for me. I wanted to love it. I did.
Yeah.
Especially after all three of you guys said, "Oh, you got to watch this movie. It's great. It's great." So it was, I mean, I had a big head going in. I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be fantastic." I mean, my popcorn, I sat down with my beer, and I'm like, So I didn't not like it. It's just, like you, Alan, I will not watch this one again. And I'm a big war movie guy. I love war movies. You guys know that. The friendship dynamic, just like you said, it's not. There was a lot of racial stuff going on, and you really did feel for this for Jesse, the black pilot. You felt for him because you could see that he was not being treated the same. He was being treated poorly, and then when he wasn't being treated poorly, like they had a news crew come on the carrier, and they were interviewing him, and they were just dicks. But they were trying to be, nice to the black guy.
Yeah.
And they were just being assholes. And Jesse could see it, and his friends could see it, but it was just. But the dynamic of the friendship was there was a lot of race to it, and just like you said, like on the first or maybe the third or fourth time that he pushed me away, I would have gone, "All right, man, you just don't like me."
Yeah.
But, I mean, he stuck with it, and like you said, their family are friends to this day.
Yeah, and he really did that because in the story, Jesse has a book with all the slurs he dealt with his life, and he recites it into a mirror to get himself psyched, I guess, to fly. And he really, in real life, he did that. He had that book with all the slurs in it, and he actually did that. So that was true in that.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go there, and I'm just gonna spoil this movie. So, spoiler.
Go ahead.
I can't. Well, I'm gonna have to look at that. What's the guy's name again? The white guy.
His name's Glenn Powell. I don't know.
Okay, Lieutenant Powell was a. Anyway, he actually really did go back and crash his plane to save Jesse.
Yeah.
I mean, and he really had. I mean, that really happened.
Yeah.
And I think that the story might have gotten lost with all trying to show the accuracy of the racial tension, and it neglected what the real friendship development was.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
The scene where Powell met with the wife, that never happened.
Right. He didn't meet him until then.
Yeah, she didn't meet him until after the funeral, I guess.
Right.
But anyway, I think that for me, I went in expecting a war movie, apparently like Rich did, and it wasn't a war movie. It was a movie about this guy and about the friendship. And so I think if you look at it that way and you can find the value of that, you will enjoy this movie. But if you're looking for a war movie, that is not what this is. This is more of a character drama.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, I enjoyed it. I mean, I watched some crappy movies this week, and I thought it was a good movie. Like I said, I wouldn't watch it again. The scene, since we gave away where they have to go back and blow up the plane with Jesse's body in,
yeah,
and they go Glenn Powell because they don't, which he doesn't want to go back buddies remained up. You know, none of them did. I thought that scene was pretty. That brought a tear to my eye. That scene, because I thought, man, that would suck to have to go back and destroy your partners, your buddies, your comrades, your brother-in-law. You know, so that scene was kind of. I think it could have been played better, but it got me. It got me. You know, not his death. That part.
The devotion that he had to just trying to get him out.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's face it, the guy in Top Gun was a real DICK, not like my friend in Massachusetts. But he really showed a different side of his acting ability too.
Yeah. Well,
you really felt. I mean, I cried. It really got to me what he had experienced. I mean, I could feel it.
Landa, definitely watch it. Linda says she can't decide if she wants to watch it. I don't want to be the one that wrecks a potentially good movie, a movie that you'll love.
The movie Grinch.
It's not a bad movie. It's just not what I was expecting. I wanted a war movie. I wanted, action and a lot of, and there was a little bit of it. Just like Hadley said, it's a period piece on the friendship of these characters and the devotion of both of them to each other. Right. There's a lot of racial tension in this. That said, that's not the major part of it. The major part is their friendship. So, and it's a good one. They had a great friendship, or it ended up being great. It was hard work getting
it. Was a lot of work.
Yeah, but Landa, just watch it and make your own decision. Of the three of us, I'm the only one who didn't give it a 4-star. Think of it that way. And if Scott was here, he'd probably be giving this 11 stars.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I
don't know.
Maybe.
He's a wild card, that Scott Baker
man. He's a big Korean war guy, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's true.
He would have known all the statistics.
Yeah, but I know what you mean, Rich. I enjoyed it, obviously, more than you did. But I understand your point of view from it, because there was some parts I was like, but I on the whole, because that's what you do it on the whole.
Yeah.
And like I said, the effects were good. The acting was good. I don't think there was any really bad acting.
No, the acting was good.
Yeah. And I liked that he saved the Marines that were being dicks to him.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, yeah, well, there's some value to him. My life.
All right.
But I think this was a good pick for us, even, as a newer movie.
It was a good change of pace. Mm-hmm. We do a lot of, y'all know I always pick something funny and stupid, and y'all like the horror. So we don't really do that. We don't really stretch out into this genre much. No. But it was a good change.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Well, it is about naval aviators, Max. So she's in the mood there.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to not watch this movie because of the way I reviewed it. I think everybody here should watch it. Make your own decision on whether you like it or not, but go in knowing that this is not in any way a war movie. There's war in it.
Well, it's not a war movie. Tina liked it, and she's not a big war movie. Likes military movies, but getting her to watch a war movie is like pulling teeth because they're sad.
Yeah.
War is sad, so she doesn't want me to make her sad. She's flipping me off right now.
Give me the what for, Tina. Well, so that's good. I mean, again, it was a great change of pace, but I want to get back to something more action oriented. I'm really wanting to watch a good action. I would like a really good action war movie, which I think I told y'all. Did you watch that Soviet tank movie, like T-34?
I haven't watched it yet.
Oh man, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Now that's a great war movie. I don't know, was it Scott or was it you that told me to watch that? Was it you?
Scott. It was me. It was me.
Oh, it was you.
Man, it was great. T-34. It's World War II. It's about Russian tanks, Russian tank commander gets captured. I think it was on his first mission, and the German tank commander that he was up against, he sees that the tactics that this guy was using were fantastic. The Russians had inferior tanks. They had one tank, and there was like 5 or 6 German tanks, and he took them all out. And it's about they destroyed his tank as well. Then the Germans capture a Russian tank, and they're like, "You're gonna teach our guys these tactics." And it moved on. I don't want to wreck it for anybody because this is a great war movie. This is actually really good. Tank battle. It's fantastic.
This is, if you can imagine a tank doing ballet, that is this movie with lots of shoot 'em ups. I really enjoyed it. It had some shots I'd never seen before, and the way they did some of the scenes were just phenomenal. I mean, it was a fun movie for me.
Well, I'll have to check that one out then.
It's very well acted too.
And I think
there's two. There's the normal one, and then there's like an unrated version. But I couldn't get either subtitles or dubbed for the unrated version, or I think it's a longer version, something like that.
Yeah,
but
my Russian
version I was able to watch.
My Russian's a little rusty, so I'll have to watch that. Yeah, da. Hey, I watched a war movie, The Burial. Did you two get around to ever seeing that one, The Burial?
No,
I
haven't
did.
seen it yet, but you said it was great. Scott said it was meh. So I'm gonna go in there with like 50-50 and make my own decision. But yeah,
I have an opinion too.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know you saw it.
I did. I've tried to watch them all. I'm kind of with Scott. It was kind of I didn't love it like Alan did.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was gonna be supernatural.
I did too. It wasn't.
And it
It's
wasn't.
the one where they have Hitler's body, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like the Russians. I like the Russian, the one guy, Thor. That guy was stabbed, shot. I thought he was bad. But it's to me it was good. I wouldn't watch it again though. You know, movies like that, you know, it's not like The Longest Day or A Bridge Too Far, or, you know, where you can watch different scenes and, you know, watch them over again and again. This movie's not like that, but I do recommend it. Let me know. Anybody watches it? Hadley, let me know. Scott, let me know if you watch.
I thought that I guess like Rich felt like with Devotion was I felt like I kept waiting for the kind of supernatural kind of woo element to happen, and it just never did. So I kind of felt let down.
Yeah, I could see that. I do like the ending. Oh, we lost Rich. I thought the ending was pretty sharp.
Yeah, the ending was pretty good.
I see you, Rich.
Yeah, I'm in the shadows now. It was actually like right in my eyes.
So what else? What else we got?
Well, I started watching Hell Hath No Fury.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay.
Really?
It was totally different from anything I've seen, and it's about a woman who has been. First off, it takes place in France, I think, maybe France. I think it was France during World War II, well, the aftermath of World War II. And she was the lover of a high up Nazi official, you know, some army dude. And so you know how they would treat the women who had these affairs with these German officers was they would, you know, pretty much shear their hair off and just humiliate them and treat them really bad. And so all this has been done to her, and the Americans save her. Well, the Americans save her because Nazi gold. She knows where the Nazi gold's buried.
Okay.
So it's kind of like, it's a war movie. It's got guns. It's got stuff going on, but it's more about where the Nazi gold is.
Okay. So it's kind of a caper flick a little bit?
Kind of a caper, but it was different. I mean, it was a really different take on things. I really thought it was kind of cool. So, I mean, it's no 5-star by any means, but it's well worth a watch, especially if you are a World War II fan.
Okay. I'll have to check it out because I've seen it floating around.
Yeah. So that I watched a bunch because there was a bunch that I found when we were doing our war movie stuff that we never did, and I was not happy with my pick, so I kept looking for a replacement in my heart because I had to stick with was it Hill 68? I think that was
Yeah.
my movie.
Which
Which wasn't a bad movie, but it was more of a drama than a war movie, and I wanted to shoot them up.
yeah, it was. It was a good movie, but it was a drama. You're right. It wasn't a, Platoon or Siege of Fire Base Gloria or something like that.
Well, it was another one that is
Right, boy.
based on a true circumstances, and I think that when you're looking at something they're trying to be historically accurate, and it doesn't have the bang that nerds like us look for.
Well, I did like Flyboys though.
Oh man, it's one of my favorite movies.
I did like that.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched Flyboys. I guess I'm gonna have to.
It's good. It is. It's a movie. It really is. Even though it has James Franco as the lead.
I hate me some James Franco.
I don't know why. Why does everybody hate James Franco? Because he's just
Because he looks like the dirty guy that's you just want to take a bath when you look at him.
What about his brother? I can't remember his brother's
No,
name.
Dave's hilarious.
Dave, that's who it is. Yeah,
Dave.
I like him. I like them both.
He's hilarious. You ever seen 8 Underground?
Yes, I have.
It's like, what happened? He's in the
Now You See Me.
yeah,
He's in that too.
yeah.
He's the card guy.
He is great. He was in the reboot of Scrubs, the horrible reboot, but he was good in it. He was one of the main characters.
He's in Warm Bodies.
Yeah,
Franco. Yeah.
and he was in that vampire movie with Jamie Foxx that came out on Netflix.
Oh yeah, that's right. He wore the collar. Yeah.
That's James Franco's brother.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
brother. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of has that whole Pete, what's his name thing going on too.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Yes. He looks like he could be cousins with him.
Not a big fan of Pete.
Davidson actually looks
Not
like
really either, but they both look sick. They
Yeah.
got those circles like I don't, so I guess I should be hushing.
Hey, I watched. We're doing war movies, but I watched this horror movie last night called Bloody Hell. Have you seen that movie?
No.
It is crazy.
Crazy good or crazy don't go near it?
I liked it. It's a weird movie. It's a low budget, obviously. It's an Australian movie. But it's crazy. This guy gets taken by this family of cannibals, and it's crazy.
What is it about cannibals this year?
I don't know.
It's a new thing. Ugh.
But I think Tony would probably like that movie. I'm sure. But check it out if you get the time. If you're looking for a horror movie,
It's called Bloody Hell.
Yeah, it's not just a splatter movie. There's more to it, and I don't want to give anything away. But did you ever see that movie where the demons come through the internet, and there's demon hunters, and this one of the demon hunter guys, his mom is a head demon. It's an Australian movie. It's called Necro something. It's on Hulu. That was a bad. I just seen those two and oh man. But anyway, I'll look them up for you. I can't because I'm computer illiterate right now.
Well, Ashhole had said Stalingrad is another good Russian-made war movie, which I think I've seen it and it is very good. And David Muga is suggesting that we watch not a Russian war movie, but a Russian movie called Coma.
Really? Coma. Oh.
Check it out. I go into some foreign films sometime, and I like Russian movies a lot.
Yeah, they're really big. Their cinema's really big right now.
Yeah, they do some good fantasy stuff. Like there's one about a dragon. I ought to make y'all watch that one sometime. But it is really well done. But it was before the whole Game of Thrones thing. But it's about a dragon that takes the virgins and off to this island. It's pretty good.
What does he do with the virgins once he gets?
I'm not going to say. It would be unkind of me to say.
That's where they make their oil.
Oh, you're so funny, Alex.
Look at this comment. Look at the comment Max Crumb has said right here.
The Last of Us.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying The Last of Us. I wasn't familiar with the franchise.
let's delve into this, shall we?
Pedro Pascal is the Jesse of TV right now.
Yeah.
I love him so hard.
I think he's
I
great.
loved him in Game of Thrones, and I hated his character. Met its terrible end like it did.
Yeah. He's a fun actor.
He is. He's got it going on, man.
That movie he did with Nicolas Cage is
I was
hilarious.
going to say that. I was just going to talk about the Nicolas Cage movie. It was so good. It was so excellent.
He was great.
Yeah, it really was. And he was good in it, too. Pedro Pascal was excellent in it.
Well, how about the one where the actors are quarantined in England for that movie shoot?
Oh, yeah, with Karen Gillian. Yeah. That was actually good, too.
Yeah. He just wants to have sex with him in that whole shoot. Didn't care who it was. That's great.
Well,
So, The Last of Us is just it's excellent. I really didn't think it would be this great. I thought, because of what it was going to go down a political way.
Right.
And it hasn't, at least not yet. So I really hope it doesn't, because the kid, hands down, she takes it away. She's just fantastic.
She was what was it, Lorena Mormont?
Yeah.
The little bear.
Yep.
And she
was
kicked ass
also in
in
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, she did, and she's a Brit, and her American snark in this is just, even she doesn't even have to say anything. She can just make her, with her face, make a look.
Right.
And just don't fall in love with characters, because you never know what's going to happen in this. And, the fungus zombies are just, they're great looking. They're fantastic. There was one scene that was just dumb, but the rest of it was just was fantastic. I highly recommend it.
What was the scene that was just dumb?
The smooch. It just
was terrifying.
Yeah.
It wasn't just dumb. It was terrifying.
The whole thing, that whole scene, to me, didn't make any sense. And then my daughter actually explained it to me. I don't want to wreck it for anybody, so I don't
Explain it to me, because I don't understand.
Okay, so they're in the building.
Right.
And they know that the zombies are all coming. And she's infected, so she's got gasoline poured all over the place. The kid and what's the guy's name? Jesse? What's his name? Joel. They're gone, and she's sitting there with Zippo trying to flip it, trying to spark it up. Zombies running all over the place. Nobody's coming near her. And I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. They would be on her in a moment, just tearing her to pieces, trying to infect her. And this one lone runner, I don't know what the common zombie is called. It comes up and it kind of puts its mouth to hers, and the little fungus things come out of its mouth and they go in her mouth while she's flipping the thing. And I just didn't understand why they didn't all swarm her. And my daughter said that they don't really attack you when you're already infected.
Ah.
And I was like, but I don't know if I buy that, because why would dozens of them all attack you at once? Because the moment you're bitten, you're infected in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So, but that's what she said. And it kind of made a little sense. So,
I got that. I don't understand why they kissed, though.
I don't know what that was about.
That's what I need answers about.
To put it inside her fast.
I guess.
You're so wrong, Alan.
I don't know. That was Anna Torv from Fringe. We're trying to figure out who that was. That's it, from Fringe. Remember Fringe?
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that show.
She's also in The Gilded Age on HBO back.
Is that a girl show?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a period movie, take place in New York during the Golden Age.
Never heard of it. She's
Um,
Australian, I think.
It came on last year. It was really good. It's kind of like the American version of Downton Abbey.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Y'all just all went to sleep right there. I'm sorry. Love me some Downton Abbey.
I haven't seen Downtown Abbey.
I haven't either. Downtown Abbey.
Downtown Abbey.
Yeah.
Wait,
Max,
is that the name of? No, never mind.
Max brings up a good point. The grenades on the floor was wacky.
Yeah.
I would
You
have
got
been
Joel. He's not military, but he's very capable. And there's ammo everywhere. You're seeing crates of ammo, and he's like, I'm just gonna take the kid and go. I'm gonna leave all those grenades on the floor, not take any ammo, and I'm just gonna book. Right. And I'm like, are you nuts? The first thing they would have done was scavenged ammo. Look for a radio, scavenge ammo, grab the grenades, and book. And he just kind of skipped all the first three and just left.
Yeah, I was like, Tina, why didn't you grab all that crap?
Hey, buddy.
Oh, he's off.
Yeah.
But I think they're really sticking to it because they don't want to lose the fan base.
Yeah.
Because they've got a rabid fan base. I've never played the game before.
I haven't either.
I've
seen it played, but I haven't played it.
The last game I played was like GoldenEye or Max Payne, one of those. But so I think they're being smart that way, which is good.
I loved the scene. Was it in China or Korea?
Indonesia.
Indonesia. That's right. You told me the other day. Anyway, I love that scene with the doctor.
Yeah. Great.
And it just hit you when she made that comment of I want to go be with my family.
Yeah. Bombs. Kill everybody.
Because she knew, hello guys.
Hey, big boy.
People.
But yeah, no, you're right. That scene was, I got to go home, see my family before you blow everything up.
Yeah, there was no save me. There was none of that. It was just kill us all.
Yeah. They're doing a good job. I don't know if you watched Halo when it came out, but they killed that. It wasn't, killed in a bad way. They had all the Spartan armor and the vehicle were cool, just like the video game, but the storyline was not
bad.
Yeah.
So insofar as that, I'm hoping. So you're right. It sucked. It wasn't good. But the effects were fantastic.
Yes.
And what I want is for them to have another season, even though the fans, like rabid fans again, and they just hated it. But if they bring the flood into it, it could really be good. It could be excellent. Yeah. And they haven't been to the Halo yet, so they're on the way. And,
Rich, what did you think about Boston?
So Hadley's talking about Boston in The Last of Us because I'm from Boston. So it was good. Another thing I didn't get. It was really creepy looking at because the skyline's real. You can see the skyline, and I know the buildings. I don't know necessarily the buildings they were in, except for the Bostonian. That I've actually been in that building, and I've been in the State House too. But the Bostonian is the museum they're in. If you guys have seen the second episode, I've been in that building a dozen times.
Wow.
But what I didn't understand initially was, a lot of post-apocalyptic movies have like all crumbled buildings and they're all knocked over, and you're looking at it and you're like, that just doesn't happen in 20 years. But they bombed it. They explained what goes on, and I was like, damn it, that was great. That was great the way they explained it, because I was like, no, that doesn't work for me. I still loved it. I still love the show. Don't get me wrong. But I was thinking that just doesn't work for me. The buildings wouldn't be like that. And then they were talking about how they bombed Boston to try and stem the tide of infection, and it worked in Boston. It did really well, but I guess she was saying that it didn't work everywhere else. So it was good. And as to Hadley's question, I thought it was especially creepy because I was like, oh my God, I've been there. I've seen that, and the way they had that all overgrown and stuff like that. When you go into the Bostonian, on the right is like a little gift shop, and as you go straight, there's like it's an old ship, and it's inside a big glass case, and it's huge. Actually, it's like 6 feet long, and that was there. It was really cool. I thought that whole thing was great. And when they're under Haymarket, they're walking through the subway. I know exactly where that is. I know all of that. I know right where Haymarket is. They were in Faneuil Hall. I knew where that was too. I don't really know where their little base is, but it was done okay. It was done pretty well. What did you think of Boston? Did you guys think it was creepy?
Oh yeah, the building collapsed like that. Was cool, and I was like, you guys thinking, wow, and then oh yeah, they bombed it.
Yeah.
It looked good. It really did. They really put the money into this.
Yeah, they did.
That's what I was thinking.
Have you seen
David is saying that he heard there was a shift in the game with the spread being by spores in the air. Did y'all watch the after show? I think I watched the after show that said that the spores in the air was just going to be harder for them to show.
Yeah.
I didn't see it, but yeah.
Yeah, watch the after show, Rich. It's just like 5 minutes or so after.
Just details.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, that's why, huh? Because they said everybody be breathing it in, and they just didn't go that way with it.
Those little tendrils, that just creeps me out.
Yeah.
Like when it was showing.
Great idea. Yeah, they call the rest of the infected. That was it's well done, and I don't know if that was in the video game or not. I'm guessing it is, but I don't know.
I don't know.
I want to hear everybody's theory on the kiss.
The way I saw somebody say something about how that's how they spread it.
Mm.
By kissing? That's terrible.
Yeah,
They're already infected.
I mean, it doesn't make sense for that thing to kiss her. I was like, do they know each other? I mean, was it an ex-lover? What the heck?
No, someone said in here that it's if you're already infected, that's a way to speed it up. It speeds up the infection inside you.
Okay.
Well, she was struggling. I'll say that. I mean, hello.
Didn't like it. I wouldn't have let that thing kiss me.
No way. I would have been no. Mm-mm.
I'm looking forward to Nick Offerman being on it. That's gonna be.
Yeah, I can't wait for the rest of the season. I really wish that it was like a Netflix thing, so I could just binge it and be done.
Right.
But at the same time, this particular show is very special to me because I'm watching it with a friend.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and it's we're texting back and forth while it's on, and it's I really love it. So
good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Good. Yeah, that's what like with Walking Dead first couple of years. That was kind of we get the family together, we'd watch it, and then slowly we people would stop watching it. And
you mean when it started to suck?
Yeah. Yes. I haven't even finished it yet. I have not.
I haven't either.
I never missed an episode. I saw every one.
Well, I got to finish it, but it's just like I'm on the last season.
It gets better.
I'm on the last half of the last season. So I just kind of lost Fear of the Walking Dead. I'll ride that out, and we'll see what comes after that.
They got 3 spin-off shows. They've got Daryl Dixon. They've got the Dead City or something city, and that's Negan and Maggie. And then they have the Rick and Michonne thing. So there's at least 3 more series coming in the universe. And I don't know if they'll survive, make it past a season or 2. But
I don't either.
Fear the Walking Dead's done after this year, I think. It might be another season after this, but they've already written it off.
Walking Dead Beyond or whatever, that one sucked.
So about that.
I need some new zombie stuff.
So it was bad. You're right. And I'm with you, Hadley. I need new zombie stuff too, and that's coming. But so Walking Dead World Beyond, don't watch the show. There's no need to watch the show except for the after credit scene of the last show. You have to watch that. And I'm not going to tell you what happens. You can actually go on YouTube. I think it's 6 minutes long. You can go on YouTube right now and you can type in after credit show or after credits of Walking Dead World Beyond. Imperative that you watch that. It was the only 6 minutes of that entire show worth watching, and it's great.
Well, I'm curious.
And none of the characters are in it, so it's awesome.
Whatever happened with the Zack Snyder zombie series?
I know he's working on a sci-fi right now. like the Seven Samurai and Star Wars combined, like Magnificent Seven and Star Wars combined. I forgot the name of it. Something Planet, Rogue Planet, something like that.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I've seen previews, and that does look really good.
So
But I mean, he needs to go back and finish this out because hello,
right,
getting older every day.
he does. I know we had a big deal about that movie made. It could have been better, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, there was a lot of stuff in it. I mean, remember we were talking about it when we did our panel, was like the alien spaceship and stuff like that. I mean, I need answers.
Yeah.
Maybe we should rewatch that sometime.
I had heard that Zack Snyder, that the show was going to be an animated show. Is that
I
not
heard
true?
I heard there was going to be an anime show too.
Oh, well, maybe they'll do that because I don't know if he directs that or how that works.
But
I thought there was going to be another movie as well.
I got to know what's going to happen with Dieter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Love
it
Dieter.
was okay, but it was just a caper. It was a caper flick. It wasn't really.
It was.
I mean, they talked.
It's like it was the backstory for what was about to happen next. Is what I thought.
Yeah, and it was okay. I enjoyed it.
It teased us. But well, guys, we're right at an hour, so let's wrap it up. Tomorrow night on Weird Awakenings, they're going to be talking about winter legends and myths, I think. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Be sure to tune in. That's Morgana Calder and our friends from Wearing the Folk and Stephen Hill. And what y'all got going on?
Well, let me give a shout out to Joe Hansen of Lowball. Joe had surgery. Had a hip replacement. I guess he's been using his hip too much, and so he's recovering and he's doing well right now. So let's give a shout out to Joe. Prayers.
What you're not telling everyone, Alan, is that Joe actually taught Elvis how to do his pelvis.
Is that what that was?
Elvis pelvis. True story.
I could see that. I could see Joe doing that.
Yeah, Joe's great people.
Yeah.
Joe is the best.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read his book Cataclysm, I am reading it now, and I suggest everyone either get it on Audible or buy it because it's pretty great.
It's a great book. There's another one he has that's kind of a little forgotten book called Cousin Sonny. That's my favorite book of his. And if you're looking for a good sci-fi, it's not an action. It's a kind of a feel-good. It's hard to explain, but Cousin Sonny, if you're looking for something, pick it up. It's a great story.
Well, and I'll say his book Splinter, which goes into his zombie rush, and I think it becomes a whole nother series. But I read Splinter, and it scared me. Like I listened to it on Audible. I would only listen to it during the day, and and I'd have to put it down for long periods of time because it was really creepy. His take on that was pretty fresh and pretty disturbing.
Yeah. Get that. It's rolled into another series. So if you could find Splinter on its own, that's great. That is great.
It's on Audible.
Yeah.
And Mr. Gamboa, what's your book's title, your new book? And when's it coming out on paperback? Because me and other people want it.
I know. It's called Hunt the Night. I talked to Jason. He said they're working on getting in paperback. I have no control over that, which I did. I really liked it. I didn't really like it when I was done writing it, but I've turned to liking it better. I don't know if you two are like that. When I finish a book, sometimes I'm like, I hate it. And then I grow to like it.
I do that.
Excuse me. But yeah, I'm waiting. Hunt the Night. It's on Kindle, folks. Grab it. It's fun. Different story. For me, it's not zombies.
And Mr. Restucci, what about you?
Oh, I've got quite a bit going on right now. I'm maybe 55,000 words, I think, into the 5th in the Theory series, my zombie series. I'm writing a Sasquatch story for an anthology. I'm writing It's undead. No, not undead. It's unleashed. It's the depths unleashed, and I have to write this. It has to be like an underwater story or a kaiju story, and I picked something outside the box, and I rewrote a little bit of that, so I'm maybe 1,200 words into it now because I crushed a lot of it out, and I'm also still writing the Vampire Tank Commander story.
Cool.
Which I don't have a title for it yet, but that's a World War I land ship, and the commander of that is a vampire. So hopefully I'll have most of the stuff done by April.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lots of stuff.
Yeah. What about you, Hadley Thorne?
I have got the finishing touches on the book I've been trying to publish for months now. It's called Dawnbreaker. It'll be coming out soon. I'm looking for probably a February 14th release date.
Nice.
And I'm doing lots of admin stuff because things are changing over at Wyrd Realities. So, in case y'all don't know, Wyrd Realities has become the Wyrd Realities Network. And we are just kind of creating our own Wyrdverse. So, lots of cool shows. Bethany Stutzman and Crystal Michelle have joined us with Blonde's Books and Campfire Tales, and they come on every other Wednesday, I think, for a great show. And if you missed, they were on last night, and my two some companions were there talking about the Man with those beautiful ladies, and it was a great show.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. We didn't get.
We got lots of stuff. When's lowballing coming back? Did you say February?
Maybe the end of February. Joe's recouping, and we're going to see how he feels from there. And hopefully, we'll be up and running before March.
Awesome.
So, new shows. Joe said we're going to do it topless.
All right.
Yeah.
Finley Jones has taken over the Wild Women of Wyrd, and that is a true crime look into some docuseries. And we watch the docuseries, and then we discuss it and do our own research if it's a good one. I think she's coming up with some kind of romantic murders, mysteries, or something for Valentine's. And I believe on Monday that we're going to get together for an impromptu Wyrd Murders, Mysteries, and Mayhem and look at the Tsar Nicholas and his family's murders by the Bolsheviks.
Oh yeah.
Right.
So anyway, we got lots of stuff going on, lots of stuff. So if y'all are bored and you want to download some stuff, you can find us on Spotify using our link tree. That's going to be linktr.ee/wyrdrealities, and that's Wyrd with a Y. Until next time, stay weird.
Good night. Thank you. And Max, thanks for being topless.
Yes, Max. That's very important. Good night, everybody.